This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A monumental development for the WNBA. For the first time in the league's 27-year history, every team will have charter flights for all road games this season. In the previous 26 years, all teams were forced to travel on commercial flights. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said the use of private jets will help address concerns of travel fatigue for players and safety concerns when players had to walk through airports. The WNBA's 12 teams will play 40 regular season games, 20 on the road. The NBA will announce its Most Valuable Player Award today. The winner will be revealed on TNT's Inside the NBA pregame show. The three finalists are Luka Doncic of Dallas, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of Oklahoma City, and Denver center Nikola Jokic. Clippers guard Russell Westbrook is a finalist for the NBA's Social Justice Champion Award. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Adidas, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got your black.
It's a whole lot of money in this smoke. It's a whole lot of money in this smoke. Can't me run no brush, that brush get old. And look, can't me run no get too bold. I'm allergic to that nose, my wrist game on cold. I might pick my foot bite just to match with my toes. Yeah, I can't wear the is wear because it's cheap to me. It's some money at my table, grab a seat with me. Cost a ticket just to cover all my legal fees. I don't hang with jealous. That's a weak disease.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm so pleased to welcome into the space a person who's lived in California for half of her adult life, most of it actually. Grew up in what we affectionately call the jungles of the Crenshaw area, went to Audubon and in the Crenshaw district. She has worked in Los Angeles, lived and worked in Los Angeles for a very long time. Now she is the president of the African Village Vendors Association, Leimert Park, formerly the Leimert Park Vendors Association. They're a nonprofit dedicated to building, cultivating, and developing black-owned businesses. Sabrena Wigham, welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hello. Yeah, so we see vendors. Anyone who's been to Los Angeles, whether as a resident or a tourist, knows that the vendors are out in Leimert Park on the weekends, various vendors. I don't know if they understand the organizing that happens to sustain that and to allow it. So talk to me about the kind of work you do to help other small businesses get a chance.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Our purpose, service, and goal is to cultivate, build, and develop the Black-owned vendors that frequent that area. That's what we do. We offer resources. We go out to get resources from whomever that would come to collaborate and give to the vendors. We have on-the-spot training there. We bring them to the village on the ground on that day that they're coming out there to set up, before in the morning we'll have meetings right there on the spot to give them information, let them know what they need, what they don't have, and how to get it, and just to push them to a level where they can be a great success. That's our immediate goal.
So, and you feel like black vendors get a bad deal. I'm imagining you don't just think that in Leimert Park, Africatown, or Los Angeles. Why do you say that?
We think that they get a bad deal. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Why do you feel that?
Oh, okay. Especially us. We don't have an area. That's one of the few areas across LA, which is a discriminatory act that we feel that we can abide and grow and not be messed with. Unlike other cultures, you see them flourishing all over. That's our one little spot, our one little place that we call our Mecca, that we can begin to strive and feel safe. So that's why we're pushing every day for whoever it is, whatever they have, we want to utilize that and then apply excellence and to make them better. But that's our one spot, and people really they require more of us in that area. They do things to try to gentrify that area that we're fighting against, and we really have to do a major pushback as a black-owned vendor, and we also have to help with the mindset. Just last week we had a wellness. A spring wellness, but one of the things is not just wellness on your health and wellness for your skin or whatever, but wellness of the mindset.
Yeah, so well-being, total well-being. Yeah.
Yeah, so that they can know why they are great and know why they need to believe who they are and why they need economic power. And why that economic power is what we need to use to fight the social ills of the discrimination that has happened to us for centuries. So we're really trying to unloose and free our people to make them independently black today. So yeah, that's really, as I was going to say, that's our initial goal, is to put money and to fatten the pockets of the people, but the greater goal is for the black nation as a whole. And we believe that through economic power is how we got to fight the social ills. And I always say this, people probably think that this is a broken record. If we don't matter to them, it doesn't matter when we matter economically. So that's why we're working this cause. And I also say that people out there think, oh, good, this is going to help me grow my business. Yes, but your business growth and your wealth through business will help us as a black nation to fight the social ills. And we can move and shake and get options as a result of that.
Sabrena, tell me give me an example of what vendors are facing, because I'm going to tell you, this is just coming from me. I'm not a vendor. Nor am I an expert, but I feel like I see, and I don't have any beef with any other community, but I do feel like I see a proliferation of rules relaxing in Los Angeles to accommodate vendors. It seems like it's a lot looser. The city council and even in the county, the board of supervisors are more lackadaisical with vendors. They're giving them cheap, less expensive permits, allowing them to be more places. I feel like I see, baking sheets full of hot dogs almost everywhere I go. So tell me how that discrimination shows up, because it's true, I do not see as many black vendors everywhere, on medians, on sidewalks, outside of different venues, entertainment venues. I mostly see other folks. I don't see as many black vendors. So what is that discrimination? What form does it take?
It takes a form that a lot of times when we go to those areas like that, they have a monopoly over, and they sort of just like, this is our community type thing. And I hate to say this, but one of the person that sold tacos, they went to an area and they say, you're going to have to move with because we sell the tacos, okay? So being over there, they came to our area, that's their safe haven. So we're blocked out, and so all through the city, we are shunned and at a place that was our own one season, but it's been taken over about another culture, so we have to fight that fight.
I mean, we could go back further and say, well, they might have been there before it was America or whatever. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know.
True.
But
yeah,
right. Everyone's descended from us, right?
Yeah,
let's go all the way back to the original seed. I mean, I've been to Ethiopia. I've seen the the remains. So yeah, I understand that too. But my point is, what is it that the city and county should be doing to protect black vendors? Because if we are getting pushed out and discriminated against, so that as you loosen these rules, it benefits everyone except us, what do we do about that? Because that's not right.
I'm going to tell you that's so beautiful because we need them. And we've been trying to get their support with just basic finishing of our farmers market permit, because that allows us throughout the year without harassment to be in a spot and to really work on that area to make it the tourist attraction and to turn that area into Africa Town. That's another initiative. But all that we are asking for is let's take what we got. This place is a historic ground. Everybody knows that everybody comes to Leimert Park, a.k.a. that we coined as the people, as Africa Town, which is trying to make official as the spot. They utilize and they come there when they want to gather the black vote or to say, yeah, we like black people right here. But
today,
the common folks
today we like
there,
black people. Yeah, right.
The vendors that are there, the real life people that have been there an average of 10 years, 20 plus, vending there, they go on the big days like Martin Luther King and all these other wonderful days. They come into that neighborhood, they price gouge the vendors that's there 52 weeks out of the year, and then they pay and give to the outside people that really are not the real live constituents the money to come in, and they give them the money, and their pockets are full, and they leave the community and don't put back into those black people that 52 weeks out of the year. Unlike us, we are a nonprofit, and every dime that we even collect or try to solicit from people, we grassroots, we put it back. We have to go struggle to get porta potties, we have to struggle to get barriers and all that. When on days like the big heydays that everybody come to use that land,
i.e. Juneteenth, right?
They prop it out. They prop it out like fire. Here's these tents that you don't even have to bring your tent. Our little vendors struggling and bring their little tore up tents. They tear up, by the way, every 6 months. We need tents. We need real commercial tents. They give them from outside to come in there to vend, and price goes to vendors, tents, lights, LED lighting, beautiful stages, and we're up here scraping and asking people all over to give us money and raising funds, grassroots, to just even put in, and we do that.
Bree Dazzled is in the chat. It says the police let others set up and they harass black vendors. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. And that's what our fight is. And that's why we bring in the public counsel to help fight tickets, to lower the tickets that they give. And all across the LA area, they're doing that and harassing black people. That one little spot, though, we try to cover it, but it's covered by implied intent. But the city could really come in and support us like they should, then we don't have to just keep trying to make ourselves legitimate. They can do that with the funding that they give to outside people.
Now,
not just part.
Sabrena, if people want to, if they are interested in donating, whether they might be a lawmaker or an individual who just wants to support black businesses, of course you can go down there and shop, right? I mean, Saturdays and Sundays, especially Sundays. Sunday's like the big day, right? They can shop. But beyond that, what would they do if they wanted to donate or support in some of the ways that you've outlined here?
Okay, sure. It's through our Instagram. You can support. We have a Cash App, and I didn't put that, but it's simple. It's ADVAL. It's African Village Vendors Association at Leimert Park. That's one way they can do immediate support. They can support through our Instagram, which is African Village Vendors Association, with the underscore after each name that I just mentioned. African underscore
village underscore vendors underscore association.
Yeah, ASSOC.
Okay. I love that you kind of melded together the African Village Vendors Association and Leimert Park, because I know for many years, as a longtime Crenshaw District resident, that was a controversy. Do we call it the African Village or do we keep Leimert Park? Because people know that as a destination. And when one of my sisters came from the East Coast, the first thing she wanted to do was go down to what she knows as Leimert Park and shop and dance around to the drums. And she did do that all day. I love.
That's why we kept the Leimert Park on there.
Yeah, I love how you solved it. Right. It's just like when I say we're broadcasting from Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. Why can't we have both? Sabrena Wigham, thank you so much for the work that you're doing to help other people. You have your own business as well. You want to give out that Instagram?
Oh, yeah, sure. Equip me _variety. And I just want to say really quickly why I don't even, when I go down there, sometimes I don't have time. I'm just always talking and advocating for our cause. Why? Because a long time, I'm not trying to get spiritual here. The Lord has told me that if I build others, He's going to take care of me, because everything that I do is a seed, and the seed never comes back to you just one fold. So I'm going to get mine. My goal, mission is for others and to build the black nation. That's why I'm trying to build all those vendors. And whatever blessings that I'm going to get, it's going to come. If I continue to sow seed in the multiples of 200 plus black-owned vendors that are part of our association.
Sabrena Wigham, thank you so much for joining us. I just followed you on Instagram, equipme _variety. And thank you for the great work you're doing.
You're welcome. I appreciate it. And I'm such an opportunity to come on here.
And I'll see you in the village. In the meantime, you can call me now, 800-920-1580. The phone lines are wide open. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Hi, it's Candace Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one. Let's bring a bang. Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Have a leave up day. Hey! The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer's suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count packs.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a Smith solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
Eggs are a staple in our diet, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Gotta love our KBLA 1580 YouTube chat. They have always got it going on. We got a lot going on national landscape, which I will get to, but you know, Molly Bell's on my phone, so we're going there right now. Molly Bell, straight out of Compton. Good morning.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors, and God bless morning to you, Dominique. You have been doing a yeoman's job with our many guests, and I especially a good morning to Sabrena and Africa Town, and of course our chat room and the KBLA family and delegation. I'm a little bit reluctant in saying this, and so I want you, hopefully, I was going to wait till Friday. On yesterday, you had the lady named Sharon Kyle on, and so she said that she was a progressive, and I always say yes, I am progressive, and I am progressive as long as the word progressive is the root word of progress. And so that's what I am. And then she actually said that she wasn't a Democrat. Now, I'm always worried about hijacking. Progressive Party, the progressive arm of the Democratic Party, if she is not Democrat and she's using the word progressive, which party is she from? That's the way, in my opinion, and I don't mean no disrespect to her, that's the way we get hijacked. With Black Lives Matter, we knew what Black Lives Matter meant. And then when they went to incorporate it or a whole bunch of different names, then it wasn't even the Black Lives Matter that we know. I don't think, and you could share with me if I'm out of order, I don't think that we should have anyone who uses the word progressive and say that they're progressive, they must be progressive part of the Democratic Party. That's just the way it is.
Okay, Molly Bell, I'm not going to take away your closing or anything like that, but I want to ask you, most of us think of Bernie Sanders as one of the leading progressives in this country, right? And yet he is not a Democrat. He's independent. He caucuses with Democrats, but he's largely considered to be to the left of the Democratic Party.
Well, first of all, Bernie Sanders and how he has done it, caucusing with the Democrats, he does caucus with a party. And that is the Democrat.
But he defines himself as independent. And the only reason I'm pointing this out, Molly Bell, is because most of the people who say they're progressives, many are in the Democratic Party, but they could be in Peace and Freedom. They might be in Cornel West Party. They could be in the Green Party. They could be declined to state, which is what I think Sharon Kyle is. She's declined to state, which is the same as independent. It's not the Independent Party, which is a right-wing travesty, but in California, when we say decline to state, that means we're not affiliated with a particular party, but more with a philosophy. So she's looking at progressive as a philosophy rather than a party. And within the Democratic Party, you could have a progressive Democrat. A progressive Republican, not so much, but maybe that means, like a Reagan Republican, which would mean compared to the MAGA crowd, they are progressive, but compared to reality, they're troglodytes. I'm just trying to put it on the spectrum of, it's more of a mindset, like you said, of progress within whatever party you're in.
Okay. Well, for myself, I'm just saying that I've seen, because I've, and even though I support Biden, and I do, because I am a Democrat, and of the choices, there's only one Democrat that I can vote for president, and that's Biden. And I thank you for always saying that. But I've been a Democrat since 1965 when I graduated from high school and I registered to vote. So I have a Democrat root. Well, okay, then I'll be okay. But I always wonder when another person, and I'm not knocking her, she was great yesterday. I put that in the chat room, but then I asked, was she a Democrat? And because I don't want us to get hijacked, all someone has to call in and say is that they're progressive. When I think of progressive, that's my team.
Yes.
That is my team, regardless. But if you say I'm a progressive independent, then I know that you're not against us. But if you say I'm just progressive and don't state it, and I think that it should state it, then it should be that. I was going to wait till Friday. Can I, if everything is okay, can I still call back in one more time?
Molly Bell, you're the queen. You got to pass.
Okay.
But don't tell nobody because they might get jealous.
Okay. And just for the record, I saw Areva Martin yesterday on Dr. Phil's show, and she was saving the children. And so I'm just saying, and the big thing that Tavis Smiley is planning, I attended the original one, and that's one of my first times seeing Nikki Giovanni. I'm hoping that this one will be great, and I'm trying to get permission from my doctor to be out there, and so that I could go. So I close by saying, I love you, Dominique. I love our chat room. I love our delegation and our KBLA family. I just don't want something easy to happen. I close with two things. One of them is that when I was coming up, we used the prayer of serenity, and some of you may remember it in the early 70s. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All you prayer warriors out there, you know what you've got to do. You've got to keep fasting. You've got to keep praying because the struggle continues. But always, to God be the glory. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you, Molly Bell. Perfect timing. News, traffic, and sports. Then your phone calls on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Donald Trump's hush money trial is in recess until Thursday after some salacious testimony from adult film star Stormy Daniels. Daniels took the stand Tuesday and went into detail about her alleged sexual encounter with Trump, leading the judge to scold the prosecution about her degree of detail. Trump is accused of falsifying business records tied to paying Daniels to stay quiet about an alleged affair just prior to the 2016 election. The state of Washington could see its first ever black governor. Ilona Kearney is the only female candidate in the race to become the next governor. She's running against Attorney General Bob Ferguson and State Senator Mark Mullet for the Democratic nomination. If elected, the Army veteran would be the state's third female governor. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Every day a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year, and they're waiting. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A monumental development for the WNBA. For the first time in the league's 27-year history, every team will have charter flights for all road games this season. In the previous 26 years, all teams were forced to travel on commercial flights. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said the use of private jets will help address concerns of travel fatigue for players and safety concerns when players had to walk through airports. The WNBA's 12 teams will play 40 regular season games, 20 on the road. The NBA will announce its Most Valuable Player Award today. The winner will be revealed on TNT's Inside the NBA pregame show. The three finalists are Luka Doncic of Dallas, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of Oklahoma City, and Denver center Nikola Jokic. Clippers guard Russell Westbrook is a finalist for the NBA's Social Justice Champion Award. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household. Why choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. And Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk, too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
What up, kinfolk? It's Sling Johnson here for Original Taco Pete, home of the tasty black taco. And this Mother's Day, Aaron and I would like to invite you to bring your mama to get a free taco. Come enjoy our delectable menu at 3272 West Slauson Avenue, right off Crenshaw near the K-Line. Catering and delivery is available through Grubhub, Uber Eats, or at originaltacopete.com.
Find a righteous rage, and don't be afraid to say what you see. For KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, we are. One thing I love about the chat is that y'all love to bring up issues that you want to hear, right? Things you want to talk about. Maybe you don't want to call. Some folks are shy. Some people are at work. Others are just not comfortable in a verbal exchange but want to write it. So if you're one of those or you just want fellowship, go to KBLA 1580 on YouTube. You can see me talking and hear me talking, and you can talk to your fellow KBLA delegates. And several important issues have been brought up this morning already in the chat, aside from the many that I plan, because I try to sprinkle in the conversation with you with things that are going on so we can stay updated. I love that Paul Lee brought up Candace Parker being appointed the president of Adidas women's basketball. This is just a little more than a week after she retired from the WNBA. Of course, she is an iconic player. And Adidas says that Parker is going to collaborate with the brand to create a powerful platform aimed at influencing and elevating the future of women's sports. What a pivot from Kanye to Candace. I think it's a great look, especially after the conversation we've been having about the pay in women's basketball and why no active current black players have shoe deals, and how it got that way, and the difference between equity and equality, and the increasing marketability of the WNBA, which hasn't been around obviously as long as the NBA, and therefore it needs time to get up to speed. Another thing brought up by Paul, I appreciate your news, eagle eyes, Paul. Maybe you should be a radio producer. Was that the Georgia State Court of Appeals said today that it will hear an appeal from former President Trump about the judge's decision not to kick DA Fani Willis off that case, that 2016 election interference charges, which is clearly the strongest case against Trump, at least it seems to me, as a non-lawyer who tracks these things, that sadly got delayed by what we'll call some bad decisions on the part of a diligent prosecutor who has put together this incredible case. Well, now he can appeal within the next 10 days, and the Georgia Court of Appeals will hear the president's lawyers, let me skip the adjective there, argue why she should be disqualified. Once again, this guy keeps getting break after break after break. The judge in Florida, his appointee, gave him another delay so that the documents, the mishandling or stealing of classified documents, peddling is probably what he was doing, that allegedly peddling documents, that case is going to now be dragged on until after the election. It's like he gets every break in the book. But yet yesterday we had Stormy Tuesday with Miss Daniels on the witness stand. And those are the moments, you wish it would be televised. Of course, it's not. So reporters have to tell you, and you have to hear transcripts read back. But it seems that she went into vivid detail about her affair with the president. More importantly than that, though, helped establish the fact that because part of the former president's defense is that he wasn't trying to cover up Stormy Daniels to win the White House. He was just trying to keep it from Melania. And Ms. Daniels apparently stated that he never mentioned that concern to her about Melania not finding out. There's some other gross revelations, but this, of course, continuing this unprecedented move. When I saw this story land in my inbox this morning, it put in context what I reported yesterday, that a principal in Los Angeles at Hamilton High School called police on high school children who were protesting against the war in the Middle East, anti-war protesters at a high school, had the police called on them by the administration. Now, Black Lives Matter LA and concerned parents quickly marched up there and made it clear to the administration that don't call the cops on our kids. On peaceful protests. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, the superintendent of Berkeley Unified School District, Enikia Ford Morthell, is going to get grilled by Republicans in Congress today on anti-Semitism on campuses. It's the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, but it's a bunch of allegedly shady Republicans. These are the folks that have been putting university presidents in the hot seat. Well, now they're doing it to high school administrators. So maybe that's why this Hamilton High person was so quick to pull the trigger. Now, to be fair, as the president pointed out yesterday, there has been a rise in anti-Semitism across the country. He links it to October 6th, and I haven't seen that data, but I'm sure that's true. But that rise in anti-Semitism predates October 6th. It's been a steady trajectory since we had a guy in the White House who embraces white supremacist neo-Nazi organizations. Surprise, surprise. Okay? It's also true that we've seen a huge rise in hate crimes against every other group, especially black people, notably Asian Americans, and others, since the Trump presidency. It has emboldened white supremacists. Why? Because they're being appointed to the White House. They're being embraced at public rallies and speeches by the President of the United States. And this data I have seen. It's in every single category, and most of all, for black Americans who have consistently, since the day we started tracking hate crimes, been the number one targets of it. For some reason, no one feels the need to get up and make a speech about that. I'd love to see that, Mr. President. How about a Juneteenth speech? It's kind of like Slavery Remembrance Day, when we talk about the steady rise of hate crimes against black people ever since we started tracking hate crimes, specifically and radically since 2016, when a certain orange menace entered the White House, and anti-blackness. I want to see that speech, because it seems to me that that is being unfairly linked to many of these protests, because this movement is based on divestment from a war where tens of thousands of people, including thousands and thousands of children, are being slaughtered. It is against the policies of Netanyahu and the far right-wing conservative Israeli government, which we are funding. That is not automatically anti-Semitism. But the House Committee on Education and the Workforce is steadily using these hearings to create that propaganda that if you question this super militarized right-wing regime that is slaughtering civilians, that means you're anti-Semitic. And they're putting that lie onto students. I'm not in denial. I know that probably anti-Semitic people, crop up and use these protests and rallies to try to further their agenda, but that's not where the students are coming from. That's not what they're about, and that's not what the schools are supporting if they support freedom of speech. But yes, for the first time, a high school administrator is going to be grilled by Republicans, unhinged Republicans, I might add, in Congress over anti-Semitism in schools, in elementary schools and high schools. And, Berkeley public schools do have a lot of protests. It's Berkeley, for goodness sakes. The chancellor of the New York City schools is also getting put on the hot seat today, and the school board of Montgomery County, Maryland. It's going to be a ish show for sure. Because you got to know that if the presidents of Harvard, UPenn, and MIT struggle in those hot seats, these high school administrators are not, more than likely not ready for that smoke. I hope they are. I hope they can turn the tables on what is clearly propaganda theater aimed at smearing and defaming students who are simply expressing their rights as engaged and informed citizens, which is what we keep urging them to do in the United States of America. Yeah, we've got lots of other headlines and hot and trending topics to cover, and we invite you to join in that coverage. Be the change, be the headline. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are welcoming Judge Mablean in the final hour of the show. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number. They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
May is National Foster Care Month. You can help a child in need of a loving, safe, and nurturing home by becoming a foster parent, providing the support children need to be successful in life. Black children are disproportionately represented in foster care. When placed with families in their community, they have better outcomes to thrive. FosterLAKids.org or 888-811-1121. Again, 888-811-1121. Call today.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
I can't see that high up in the chat, but someone else brought to my attention the controversy around this donation to Florida A&M University and HBCU. It's supposed to be a $237 million donation, which is ginormous, right? From this guy, Mr. Gregory Germani, who is a hemp producer who didn't go to FAMU. Some people think it's fake. They say a donation that he gave to Florida A&M fell through. No, not to Florida A&M, excuse me, that is FAMU, but to another institution, HBCU, fell through. But he's pushing back. He's saying he doesn't have a big online presence because he doesn't like people hassling him. The donation is real. The board of FAMU says they have done their due diligence and that they. The other thing Germani said is that Gerami, said is that he has been the university has been holding the stock that backs up that donation for months already before the announcement was made. It's not that they announced it just stepping out on faith. They say they've done their due diligence, and yet the chair of the board has called for an emergency meeting, and apparently alumni are concerned about this. So we'll see what happens. If the university is saying that they did their due diligence, I don't think a random guy on the street just walks up and says, I'm going to give you $237 million, and they put out a press release. They did put out a statement that they are aware of the skepticism and they're still excited about the gift. So we'll track that. I don't know why you say in the chat that means the curses are coming out. Of course, there's always going to be scrutiny, as there should be for a donation that large, but it doesn't mean that it's all fake. Israeli forces are now saying they have control of the Gaza side of the Rafah crossing. They claim that this isn't the U.S. is actually claiming this isn't the big invasion that they've been fearing in Rafah, but one of the few places where humanitarian aid can get in at all that had been trickling through is right there, and that has now been cut off, meaning that the starvation of more people, human beings, children in Gaza becomes more likely, with this. So, Kristi Noem, I haven't had a chance to talk about this hilarious story. She's a South Dakota governor. She is a leading candidate to be Trump's running mate. You guys already know that, I'm sure you already know that she shot her dog because the dog had behavioral problems, supposedly. She shot her dog dead and left it in a gravel pit because she's a gun-toting, lipstick-wearing Sarah Palin 2.0. Well, she's got a book coming out, and now she's been saying that she had a meeting at one point with Kim Jong-il, but that appears to be a lie because Kim Jong-un, that appears to be a Trumpian tall tale because she didn't even travel to North Korea and he didn't travel to the United States until after the time frame when she says it happens, among other things. So apparently this is Cricket's revenge, Cricket, the name of her dog, as she gets in deeper and deeper doo-doo with her tall tales and true stories of animal abuse. She also mentioned that she thinks the president's dog, Commander, should be 187 because he's bit some Secret Service agent. So apparently her cure for dog behavioral problems is not take them to a trainer and fix it, but shoot them yourself. I think she's taken herself out of the race for vice president. I mean, she's still supposedly in the running, but even Republican white folks are not just going to let you shoot dogs. I just don't see that happening. Let's go to JW calling us from LA. Hi, JW.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, considering. I wanted to back up Marty Bell when she made that point about being progressive and how it could be hijacked. But when she made the point that she didn't know if that person when she found out that that person was not a Democrat, well, that person could be loyal to whatever party they do belong to, no matter what the name is. The point is, being aggressive is trying to have, like you stated earlier, it's a philosophy, and it's to progress or move forward in the society in a positive and productive way. So it's a mindset or attitude or a frame of mind. But what I would like to raise is the point that whoever has a track record, such as Bernie Sanders, when that was brought up, he has a history and track record, even though he's independent, but he does work in caucus with the Democratic Party. So he has a history of service.
Yeah.
And it's positive and it's progressive.
And a voting track record as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's all above. History and anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to make this quick because I know time is of the essence. And I won't get jealous that my bill gets to pass because she has history as well. And she's the original from way back in the day. And I respect that. So, that's reverence. But anyway, as I was saying, we have to be real careful because of the fact that I can't recall the woman's name. She's a commentator, or used to be. I think Joyce Reed took her time spot on MSNBC cable news. But the point is, the other night she did a special, and she was making a valid point about how democracy is mortal, and democracy has been wounded because of what Trump's doing by threatening the judge, the witnesses, and like you stated earlier in Atlanta with our prosecutor, Fani Willis or whatever, how the Republican Party is really teamed up against her to discredit her and get her out the picture. So they're pulling out all the weapons. They're pulling out all the tools in the toolbox. It's a war game. I don't even think they are really playing politics anymore. It's not even Democratic, correction, it's not even a Republican Party that has any type of politicians or conservative or however you want to phrase it, Republican strategy. They're playing a long game. They know the time is now.
Absolutely.
And they're moving in different directions, including with the colleges, including with submitting to corporations and doing their bidding. As simple as that. They're not playing.
But I want to circle back to this point about progressives, too, because I think that it is important, and there is some confusion. I love your formula. Look at the voting record. Look at their track record of doing things or not doing things in the community. Many would argue that the Peace and Freedom Party, for example, and Dr. Cornel West and his running mate, Dr. Melina Abdullah, are actually more progressive than anyone in the Democratic Party. Many would argue that of the Green Party. And the only reason I say that is because when you talk about the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, they tend to be further to the justice side, further to the left than the mainstream or corporate Democrats. And there are people, and I believe Sharon Kyle is one of them. She is, the editor-publisher of the Los Angeles Progressive. That's who we've been discussing. She was on yesterday. They are further to the left than the Democratic Party. It's not that she's trying to sneak in and she's really a stealth Republican or a moderate who just is masquerading as a progressive. That could happen. It's certainly, I've seen it happen where everybody wants to call themselves a progressive even though they're actually not. It happens a lot. But to your point, JW, we can check the track record. But more often than not, they are people that are too far to the left, too progressive for the Democratic Party, and thus they do not commit to that party on paper. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then we'll be talking with Judge Maybelline. Family Law is next on KBLA Talk 1580.